With Season 4 of Handmaid's Tale just around the corner, we can't wait to see what this season has in store for us. Considering Season 3 left us with so many unanswered questions, we have high hopes for the new season. But there are a few things I'm sure we're all dying to see in Season 4. Let's dive in. But before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.
You will never be free of me until both of my children are safe.
Season 4 has a lot of ground to cover, especially since Season 3 was one of the most action-packed seasons yet. We expect the new season to pick up right where they left off, so there will be several stories to explore this time around. At the end of the third season, we saw that June was able to successfully help hundreds of Marthas make their way to Canada after leaving the land of Gilead. But what about the storyline of Serena Joy Waterford? The last time we touched base with Serena, she was being held as a prisoner of war in Canada after she was ousted for her crimes against Gilead. Sadly for Serena and her family, she believed that she would be able to turn in her husband, Commander Waterford, to the police and avoid any sort of punishment, as she would quickly learn that would not be the case. Even though the life of Commander Waterford is hotly debated among fans, just imagine having to turn in your own husband to the police like that. Forgetting everything that has happened in the show so far, just think about being forced to turn in something you love to the police. I can't imagine what Serena must have been going through. Regardless, it seems like Serena thought this would be for the best. After all, she did it so that she would be able to gain custody of baby Nicole. Or so she thought. As fate would have it, the police had different plans. Instead of setting free or letting her off with only minor punishment, she was locked away for slavery, among other terrible things. In Season 4, we expect to see what happens to Serena. We just hope that it's for the best, though that is rarely the case in Gilead.
I have some uncomfortable information to report. Serious crimes committed by my wife.
You probably remember that Mark Tuello was the one who told Serena that she was being charged for arranging a relationship between her driver Nick and June. They claimed that this relationship was against June's will, but Serena insisted that their relationship was consensual. Though the problem was that she had no way to prove it. Mark refused to believe her and sentenced her to be locked away. If we think back a bit further, you probably remember when June was moved into Commander Lawrence's home back in Season 3. Not too long after she got there, she began snooping around and found a tape recorder. She recorded a short message and asked that Serena take it along with her over the border to Canada when she was scheduled to meet up with Nicole. The message was very heartfelt and told the story of how Nicole was born. She pleaded with Luke to take care of the young girl, as she most likely would not be able to.
I promise you, I am trying to get to her.
The message went deep into detail about how Nicole wasn't born by force. Instead, she was born after she and Nick had fallen in love while in Gilead. As you and I both know, this story is 100% true, and Nick was truly in love with June. He did his best to get her out of Gilead, though these plans didn't pan out, and in the end, only Nicole was able to escape. Though even getting Nicole across the border proved to be extremely difficult, and they had to get help from Commander Lawrence to save her life and release her into Canada. The only hope for Serena lies in the tape that was recorded by June. We can assume that Serena likely listened to this tape at some point in the past, so she knows that the key to her freedom lies in the hands of Luke.
America, I'm placing you under arrest.
On what grounds?
Crimes against humanity.
I'm sorry, wait a second.
Think for just a moment. You're in prison for a crime you didn't commit. You aren't able to prove you didn't commit the crime because the only piece of evidence is miles away. Maybe even in a different country. What would you do? Serena is in such a difficult situation. You and I both know she's totally innocent, but what is she supposed to do when she has no way to prove it? If Serena is somehow able to get this tape from Luke, she would probably be set free. This would be the only way she could escape to freedom. Aside from this, her only chance would be to escape. But that is obviously out of the question. We have to wonder, was this entire situation June's fault? Since she confirmed that Nicole was created out of love. Also, what if Luke realizes how valuable and irreplaceable this tape was and has already destroyed it? We certainly hope all of this will be answered in the upcoming season.
You're not you. I'm not me.
This is a transaction.
We also have to wonder if Season 4 will see June go into a full Walter White frenzy and take down anyone in her path. We know that June is not a girl to be taken lightly. After all, she has a serious body count that would make cartel leaders shake in their boots. We know that she took the life of one man after beating him profusely, but she also savagely left a woman who planned on taking her own life to her own devices, almost certainly ending this woman's life by proxy. If that wasn't enough, June further proved her point when she shot 2 men in the head during the season finale. If it wasn't already apparent, June is taking flack from no one and is not here to play games. She is on a mission. The problem with shows like this is that for every action, there's always an equal and opposite reaction. This means that for June, pulling the trigger on so many people will likely not end well for her. We are all anxiously waiting to see what will happen for June, but if other shows are to be used as a reference, she is likely to find herself in a lot of trouble in Season 4. When the show first began, it seemed pretty obvious that June would be doing her best to reclaim her womanhood after it had been savagely stolen from her for so long. The first evidence of this comes from the first episode of Handmaid's Tale when June proudly speaks her name in the voiceover, marking a serious change from the original book series. In the original story, June was written to be a fairly boring woman who maintained an average life. Her original name would have been lost to time, as was true with so many other women. June would not have been the highly controversial character the way she is in the television adaptation. It seems that the writers had better plans for her and made her out to be a powerful, yet oppressed, a woman with a giant chip on her shoulder. And for a good reason.
I need you to go to the Toronto airport tomorrow and meet the Waterfords and bring Nicole.
A lot of viewers have been saying that June's character is very similar to Walter White from the Breaking Bad series. If you remember, for the first few seasons of Breaking Bad, Walter was portrayed as a hero of sorts. Though as the show went by, his character gradually turned into a villain as he lost his way and forgot why he was doing all of the things he had become involved in. For Walt, it was his love of power. He got deeply involved in the cartel business because he liked it. For June, it seems like she began her journey as a woman who was doing her best to save the lives of so many endangered women and children. Though we can't help but wonder, along the way, did she learn to enjoy the journey rather than remain focused on the end goal? Time will tell what the writers have in store for June in Season 4. We're super excited to hear more from these incredible characters and continue the story of June and all the rest of the cast. For now, we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.